What's good, everybody? This is Matt Rosewell, infamously speaking, and we're back with another instant reaction video of what we saw in the NBA playoffs tonight. Pacers move on to the Eastern Conference Finals, finishing off the Cavs in 5 games. That sounded crazy. My goodness. Winning the series in 5 games, 4-1, gentleman sweep style. The Cavs were in control until they weren't. And then, of course, the Denver Nuggets dropping another close game in the fourth quarter where they had the lead. Thunder go up 3-2. I might be eating my words there. I said experience over talent. Thunder proving me wrong. But before we jump into it, I just want to say thank you to everybody out there listening. All the likes, comments, subscribers that we've gotten, the views. I mean, it really means a lot to us here at Infamously Speaking. Keeps us going, keeps this content pumping out. So thank you so much. Continue to do what you do. Be infamous. Share, like, comment, subscribe. And let's continue to build an awesome community. With that being said, let's jump into it. Let's start with the Eastern Conference semi game 5. Pacers at Cavs. And like I said, the Cavs were in control until they weren't. I can't remember a lead like Cleveland had disappearing so fast. Tyrese Haliburton is taking the overrated claims so personal in the right way. He was incredible, especially in that second quarter, but throughout the entire game. But the second quarter in specific, I mean, it just felt like every 3-point shot he put up, it was going in. And then when they were trying to take away the 3-point shot from him, he wasn't settling. He wasn't jacking up a tough shot. He was trying to get to the hoop. He was trying to create for teammates. He looked phenomenal. Cavs offense went absolutely stone cold. Rough shooting night for everybody not named Evan Mobley or Ty Jerome. But Ty Jerome only played, didn't get into the game until late. But my goodness, what an outcome for the Pacers. Credit to them. They were fantastic in this series and applied pressure to Cleveland in ways I'm not sure they felt all season long. I mean, winning 64 games, being the number 1 seed in the East, I think wire to wire too. Like, I don't think they were ever out of first place the entire season in the East. And Indiana started off rocky, but maybe that's exactly what they needed. After last season, let's paint the picture. Last season, everybody was calling that playoff run a fluke. Everybody outside of Indiana, right? Round 1, Dame was hurt. Giannis, I believe, missed time. Round 2, the Knicks were depleted. And then they went and played Boston and got swept. And it was like, well, yeah, I mean, that's what happens when you play teams that get injured. You really didn't deserve to be here. Then Tyrese Haliburton doesn't play much in the Olympics. Part of that, I believe, is he was recovering from injury. They start off really rocky. I believe 10-15. But then just rip off the 4th best record in basketball since January 1st and look like threats on both sides of the ball. Offensive efficiency off the charts. Really tough, hard-nosed defense. And they go into Cleveland. They go into the series against Cleveland very, very confident that they could beat Cleveland. And that showed. Winning both games in Cleveland, even when they were down in that second game, Tyrese Haliburton's game-winning shot. Overrated? No, probably just overhated. And Indiana finds himself back in the Eastern Conference Finals for the 2nd straight year. And again, we're going to hear, well, yeah, but there was injuries. Of course, Dame's injury. And then Cleveland was kind of banged up for this series. There were games where Mitchell didn't really look right. Obviously, Garland missed a game. And Mobley missed a game. And Hunter missed a game. But that's not why. That's not why Indiana won. Indiana was the better team in this series. Indiana never looked phased. Yep, down 19. All right, no big deal. We're just going to hit you with a barrage of threes and efficient scoring while you can't buy a bucket. No problem. We got it. We know how to execute when it matters. And they went ahead and got it. They went ahead and got it done. And so credit to the Indiana Pacers. They're going to get the winner of the Knicks-Celtics series, which a majority of people think is going to be over tomorrow. Potentially, I believe Game 6 would be on Friday back in New York if the Knicks don't close it out tomorrow. Just a devastating injury of Jason Tatum, which we talked about yesterday. It was confirmed, torn Achilles, underwent surgery, and thankfully is expected to make a full recovery. And I want to talk about the state of the East a little bit later after I talk about Thunder Nuggets. So let's move on to that game. I said after Game 1, after Game 3, that the Nuggets experience is what gives them the edge over Oklahoma City's talent. Because in so many situations, the team that's more comfortable is the team that plays freer, the team that moves the ball around more, that gets less stiff when the game gets tight, and is more sure of themselves in the moment. We see throughout sports. Great example. My Patriots fans will love this. Not really. But you know what? I'll play both sides of the coin for them. Or I'll give both examples. One that they don't like, one that they'll love. Shout out to my people in Connecticut and New England that are Patriots fans. 07 Giants went up against the undefeated 16-0, or at that point 18-0, New England Patriots in the Super Bowl. New England was favored to win the game. Giants were underdogs all the way. And Giants obviously end up winning that Super Bowl 17-14, shocked the world, and the undefeated season. But what people sometimes forget is that in week 17 of that season, the Giants played the Patriots and lost 38-35 in an awesome game, absolute shootout. But what did that do for the Giants? Yeah, they lost that game, but it gave them confidence that they could beat the Patriots if they saw them again. Okay. Now let me go to the New England side of the coin. New England, down against Atlanta, 28-3. Have they been down like that before? No, not really. But they've been down before. Experienced, hard-nosed team, well-coached, greatest quarterback of all time. Let's just get one. Let's just get one. We just got to score one touchdown. Let's just get one. And they come back and make one of the most incredible playoff comebacks, probably ever in all sports. And that's including the 3-0, the 04 Red Sox coming back down from 3-0 against the Yankees. It just incredible. And so fast forward to tonight, and I'm like, Denver has it. They're up, times 9, 7, 6, but they're up, right? They're up in the fourth quarter. Jokic is on an unbelievable tear. What a bounce back game for Jokic. 44, 15, and 5 and throwing 2 steals there. Incredibly efficient. 17 of 25 shooting. 44 points with only 5 free throws and only 25 shots. Yeah, that's why he's the best player in the world. But the Thunder do it again. The Thunder, just like in Game 4, win a game where they're losing late, and they look so cool, so calm, so collected, and it's so rare for a young team like OKC to be able to operate so well in these moments. And I thought that Denver's championship experience would really be the edge here, because if the games were close, Denver would be able to win with Jokic, with Jamal Murray, with good defense, hitting timely shots. And yet it was Oklahoma City who was that team tonight. Shai timely shots. Dort 3 huge threes in the fourth quarter. Michael Porter Jr., ice cold. Jamal Murray, awesome in the third, not so awesome in the fourth. And Shai getting it however he wanted to get it against the Denver defense in the fourth quarter. Hit a big three, got to the hoop, played through contact, hit his free throws, and now the Thunder up 3-2 with a chance to close it in Game 6 in Denver. And you know what? They very well could win that game. They won in Denver already. They're not scared by the crowd or by the moment. I hope the series goes 7 because this has been fantastic. This is like the Jokic SGA. Tonight was where I'm like, yep, star versus star. It's like we were getting out of Knicks Celtics last night. It was the first time in that Knicks Celtics series where Tatum and Brunson were just going bucket for bucket. And that's what we want to see in the NBA, star versus star. Let's just go back and forth and trade haymakers, especially here in the playoffs, especially when it's close and the crowds are rocking. It's just tick for tack, punch for punch. Fantastic game. Fantastic game. Got to credit OKC. I was wrong on this take. I'm not afraid to admit I was wrong. I'm happy OKC is doing what they're doing, but I would love to see Denver pull out the dub in Game 6 to push the series to 7 because, man, I think that's what we all want as NBA fans is to see this go 7. And I'm sure Minnesota would love to see it go 7 because it looks like they're going to close out the Warriors tomorrow. So I want to go back now and talk a little bit about the East. And I want to talk about 2 things. First is, if you're Cleveland, and I need my Cleveland fans here to tap in, and this is not a shot, so please, I know y'all already down. I'm not kicking y'all while you're down, but it's an honest question. You all have had nice regular seasons since Donovan's gotten there. And in fact, this season was magical. Donovan even looked like he took a little bit of a step back offensively so other guys could carry that offensive responsibility. We saw Mobley's game grow. Garland got better. But what do you think they need to help them get over that hump? What's the piece? What's the piece? So I'm curious. If there was one person out there that you could add to your roster right now, what would that piece be? Do you just need another consistent scorer? Do you just need somebody that's not going to get hurt late? What is it? What is it? Curious to hear your thoughts there. And then secondly, we have potentially some big names on the move this summer. It was reported yesterday by Shams of ESPN that Giannis was open to exploring options outside of Milwaukee. And it was extremely interesting. Well, I shouldn't say it was. Everything ramped up because of how the draft lottery played out yesterday. Of course, Dallas winning the lottery, and that's shocking the basketball world that somehow they make one of the craziest, most scrutinized, most wild decisions in trading away a generational superstar in Luka Doncic to a team in the West to now having the draft rights to get Cooper Flag. But that's not even the most interesting piece. The Spurs got the second pick. And that now makes them extremely well positioned to make a trade for a big name. And the one that everybody's linking there at the moment is Giannis because of his willingness to search for new opportunities outside of Milwaukee. Number one, if that happens, that would be ridiculous. The pairing would be so great with Wemby, especially if they can keep Stephon Castle. I mean, talk about a core. But if I'm Giannis and I see what's played out over over tonight and yesterday night, I want everybody just to close their eyes for a moment and think about the landscape of the Eastern Conference for next year. Obviously, Milwaukee, Dame's probably not going to play next year. Boston is probably taking a step back. Not probably, they're definitely taking a step back next year with Tatum's Achilles injury, but also with an expensive roster that's well over the second apron, with new ownership coming that's probably not going to pick up that big bill. You're going to lose some players. I mean, you're probably going to lose Horford to retirement. Who knows if you got to shed other players like Drew. Porzingis is probably a tradable piece. And you're definitely going to keep Brown and Derek White, potentially Drew. But that roster is going to look pretty different, I would imagine, next year. So Boston takes a step back. We don't know what's going on in Miami. No clue what's going to happen there. Orlando looks promising, but they need a dynamic guard for sure. That showed up in their series against Boston. They need a reliable, dynamic guard that can help them get into their offense so the ball doesn't stick, but they can also shoot and space the floor. Atlanta is the definition of mid. No disrespect, Atlanta fans. Just look at your record over like the past, 7, 8 years. It's pretty much almost 500 if it's not. Cleveland, and again, Cleveland, this is not to kick you while you're down, but they're like the Baltimore Ravens of the NBA. I don't care what you do in the regular season anymore. Cool story. You need to show me it in the postseason. Awesome, Lamar. You're the MVP again. You ran for 1,000, threw for 3,500, 4,000. But what are you going to do when it comes playoff time and you got to face Mahomes or Allen or Burrow? What does that look like? That's Cleveland right now. What are you going to do? Great regular seasons, disappointing playoff performances. So who does that really leave as the upper echelon of the East? Let's use that word. And forgive me if you feel like I'm throwing that word out nonchalantly. Well, that leaves the Knicks and Indiana. So if you're Giannis, let's say you're able to get a piece or two. Nothing too crazy. More shooting. Help on offense. Don't you think that you could compete with the Knicks? Or compete with Indiana? Instead of going out to a loaded West? Because there's no way if I'm Milwaukee, unless I get the absolute king's ransom, which I'm not sure who in the East is even prepared or has the assets that you would want more than San Antonio and the West does. There's no way in the world you're trading him to the East. Well, let me not say that because we just saw what happened with Luka staying in the West. It's hard for me to see Milwaukee dealing him within the East. If you're going to see him, you'd want to see him in the finals. You wouldn't want to see him before then. But if I'm Giannis and I'm looking at it like, would 1 year in Milwaukee be one more year? Would that be so bad? It might not be. Is that an easier run to the NBA finals to at least get there? It might be. Think about the West. OKC's only going to get better. And if they don't win the finals, or especially if they don't even get there, they might try to take a swing at something. Who knows? They have the assets. They have the draft capital. They have interesting young players on their roster that they can move. They might take a swing at somebody, and they're only going to get better. Denver is still there. The Spurs are going to get better. The young Rockets are going to get better and look like a great landing spot for Kevin Durant. It was obvious in their series against the Warriors that what they needed was a bucket, and Kevin Durant is literally the definition of a bucket. Luka and the Lakers are there. The Clippers, depending on what they do, are there. Portland looks promising. The West is much more difficult. The West is much harder. And I'm not saying I wouldn't like their chances if he goes to San Antonio and pairs with Wemby and Stephon Castle potentially, if that he doesn't get moved in a trade like that. I think they would be up there. Easily propels them to top flight in the West. But it doesn't mean it's not going to be a bloodbath. Just thinking about it. Just consider that. And maybe like, Matt, you're crazy. Get out of Milwaukee. No Dame. No chance. Giannis top 3 player in the world. I'm not going to count him out wherever he goes because he's just that good, especially in a weaker Eastern Conference. And in the East, let me not be disrespectful, the Detroit Pistons. They didn't even have Jaden Ivey in this playoff run. and they gave the Knicks all you could handle in 6 games, in a 6-game set. So if I'm Giannis, I might think about it. It's interesting for sure. Last thing I want to talk about is Boston. I want to talk about Boston for a second. And I know, a lot of this has been talked about on a lot of the big sports shows. But I wanted to give my 2 cents on the Boston Celtics direction and how crazy it is when you're going from, in a matter of minutes, you're going from we're defending a title to we're potentially going through a massive rebuilding process. I think Boston's going to be fine, to be completely frank with you. And the reason I say that is this, and this is assuming Jason Tatum comes back, and it's more Kevin Durant story, right? Where Kevin Durant came back and has been awesome since he's come back from his Achilles injury. You got one of, if not the best 1-2 punch in the league. By the time Tatum comes back, I think Brown will be 30, he'll be 29, somewhere around there. Still in their primes. A proven championship 1-2 punch. And especially if Giannis leaves the East. Now, of course, we don't know what talent's going to flood into the East. And we don't know. One team I didn't bring up was the Sixers. We have no clue what's going to happen with them. But you could, as long as you put a good team around them, some shooting and good defenders, they can make it work. They're that good. They have that experience. They've won big games. Obviously, they're champions. So a lot of the outlook on the Celtics kind of has been grim. And that's difficult, especially for our Boston Celtics fans, because on a day where we're just absolutely devastating news, and you kind of figure like, hey, next season, not necessarily mailing it in, Boston's still going to make the playoffs next year, but the whatever championship aspirations you have are 99.9% gone. What I'm just here, I want to offer a little glimmer of hope. I think y'all going to be fine once Tatum comes back. They're going to figure it out. I mean, Brad Stevens is a fantastic executive. Whoever they have as coach, I don't mind Mazzulla. I think sometimes he can be a little bit hard-headed and maybe a little too much into the numbers, where it's like, it's just who we are. We're going to continue to jack up threes and play this brand of basketball. But Boston, they're on the right path. I'm not concerned. If I was a Boston fan, I wouldn't be concerned. I think Tatum comes back and you're right back into championship contender talks. All right, well, that's going to wrap us up here. I hope you enjoyed the show. Please like, comment, subscribe, share with a friend, family member, whoever you think needs a little bit more infamously speaking in their life. And as always, think critically, speak infamously, love.